It's a pleasure to have you here. The details now. So there were some long queues as people gathered at the KNUST hospital for their second jab of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine due to delays in the start of the exercise. Delays have also been reported at other centers within the region. Authorities say they are yet to receive the new enhanced cards. Persons who received the first dose between the 1st and 9th of March in the Greater Accra, Central and Ashanti regions were sent text messages on where and when to get the second dose. However, there are those who did not receive any message or received messages meant for other persons. The COVID Task Force's Director of Risk Communication, Dr. Abuaje Da Costa, says persons who have not gotten text messages, even though they received the first jab between the 1st and 9th of March, can walk to their centers if they don't receive any in 2 days. We'll be hearing from him shortly, though. But first, long queues have characterized the first day of the second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination in some health centers in Accra. Joint News checks at some centers show that whilst the process is going on smoothly, more people are showing up at their centers, even though they've not been assigned to this day. My colleague Kweku Asante has been to the Mamobi General Hospital and the Nima 441 Vaccination Center and joins us live from the ground. So, Kweku, where are you now and what can you report?
Right, Benis, I'm currently at the University of Ghana Hospital in Legon, where the same story is happening here. The number of people here who, although are not supposed to be here today, have come to take their vaccines are a lot, and our hospital officials have been trying to explain to them that because they are running according to a certain schedule, they should not have come now. They are trying to explain some of them to go to their various homes or to their various workplaces and come back at their designated specific dates and periods. Let me talk to some of them and find out how the process has been for them so far. Hello, Daddy. Please, how has the process been so far? Are you scheduled to take your vaccine today?
I was called to come, so I'm waiting to join the queue. Yes.
Yeah. And we've been hearing an announcement from the officials that there are some of you who are not supposed to be here today, and some of them have come. But you got a message to be here today.
I got a message to be here today, and I'm here. So I'm waiting to see whether when I get to the place, my name will be there. Yes.
All right. I mean, in terms of taking the vaccine, what kind of message will you say to those people who are out there who have concerns about taking the vaccine?
Well, I didn't have any problem with the first one I took. So I'm coming for the second jab. So I imagine that everybody should take it because there's no harm in it. Thank you.
Right. So, Benes, this story runs through the number of people here who tell me that the first vaccine they took, they did not get any adverse effects, and they believe that the vaccine is the right thing for people to take, and they want more people to take. But if you look here at Legon, a number of people here trying to get along the queue and get to the point where they can take their vaccine. Some of them tell me they are frustrated because they came here and the hospital officials are telling them a story to say that please go and come another time. And some of them are actually saying that they can't find their names in the database that was generated by the hospital from the first people who came here to take the doses. We'll try and get some official response from the university management who have been trying to explain to these people that they should go back to their home, they should go back to their offices, and the university will reach back to them for them to come and get their vaccine. Benny.
All right, Kweku, run us through the process of getting the jab this time round. When somebody comes, do they need to show the evidence on their phone? What exactly do they go through before they're given the second jab?
Right, so when you come in, you'd have to have your card, and then you get your card, and then you come to some of these tables where you go, they take the data that you've provided to them, they run it through the system. This system, I might say, is a bit different from some of the centers that I visited earlier, where you do not have to go through some of these electronic checks. But here, they come, they take your details, they look into the systems, the details that they've generated electronically to see if you're part of the people who are supposed to take the jab. After that, when you are confirmed, then they send you to this booth where you are supposed to go and take the injection. And so it's quite a simple process. You just go to a place, they look through the system and find out your name, and then you come here and then you take the jab. And so this man here has gone through the process and is just about to take his second dose. Right, so this the university hospital, the numbers that I've seen here does not compare to a number of the hospitals that I've been to earlier. the numbers are a bit high, because when you come to the Ayawaso West municipality, a number of people are coming to the university hospital. And the kind of explanation we got from the Ghana Health Service was that even if this is not the place you took your vaccine, once it is within this catchment area, you could go and get it. And when I went to Mamobi General Clinic, the situation persisted where a number of people had come, but the municipal director was explaining to me that they cannot turn away the people who have come to take their vaccines, and so they are going to get to them as soon as it's time to get to them.
Kweku, you spoke to the Ayawaso North Municipal Health Director, Sophia Quist, about people who show up when they're not, when they are supposed to take the second dose later. What did she say in specific about such persons?
Right, so according to Mrs. Sophia Quist, there's a kind of confusion within the system where some people have not received the text messages to tell them specifically when they have to go to their vaccination centers to get their second dose or to get their second jab. And so they've been trying to say that although these people are not supposed to be here today and get the vaccine, they see that as it is as of right to give some of these people the vaccine. And so they put them on hold for now, but they say that they are not going to reject, they are not going to turn away anyone who has had his first vaccine, but obviously coming to the hospital at a time that is wrong. They are going to attend to each and every person that comes to their hospitals and their vaccination centers.
Kweku Asante there from the University of Ghana Hospital in Lagos. While the COVID Task Force's Director of Risk Communication, Dr. Abuaje Da Costa, says persons who've not gotten text messages, even though they received the first jab between the 1st and 9th of March, can walk to their centers if they don't receive one in 2 or 3 days. He spoke to me earlier on News Desk.
It is the reason why I told you that we are in touch with the Ashanti Regional Directorate to make sure that even within the various centers, they also enforce the COVID-19 protocols, the social distancing measures and others. We offer training and obviously to brief all those vaccinators. So I'm certainly sure that they know. But sometimes, I mean, some of these things are bound to happen. But I'm sure that we put in place measures to make sure that the people gathered are not, they separate them in social distancing manner before the vaccination exercise.
Doc, quickly on the bit of the overcrowding, we've been told that some of the centers do not have the new COVID card, the one with the enhanced features, and that's why they have to hold on with the vaccination exercise. Do we know why that has happened?
In fact, I have to check, because I certainly know that we send them to the various regions. So I am surprised to hear what you're saying.
Okay.
But like we have enough cards to cover the 360,000 population that are to be vaccinated. And we also have more, but I mean, that is what we've dispatched with normally we have excess. So we have done everything possible to make sure that we give all the centers card, but you see we have a decentralized system. So we dispatch from Accra to the regional health directory stores, and bear in mind the condition of which you have to store the vaccines and its accessories. I mean, that one too is some special arrangements. So we've done all those arrangements. So I'm certainly sure that, in the next few hours, things will be in place for those centers to start their vaccination.
Doc, if I've misplaced my card, is a text message on my phone enough evidence to get my second jab?
Yes, please. Yes, it is. It is. And if you fall within the 1st to the 9th, so, and also there might be some few who might not have the text message. So if you wait maybe 2 to 3 days and you've not received the text message, you can go to the center where you initially vaccinated for them to check. It could be that we couldn't capture your number well, or you gave us a wrong number, or so we have put measures in place to address that as well. But when you go to the center, your details will be pulled out for you to go through the process and be vaccinated.
Quote, for the safety of the soldiers, I cannot guarantee the safety of illegal miners operating at night, end quote. These are the words of Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwul as he assures the activities of Operation Halt will be sustained. Addressing the media on the fight against illegal mining in Ghana's water bodies, the sector minister insisted destruction of mining equipment by the military task force on water bodies will continue unabated. He said the work of the task force, Operation Halt, is targeted at and only dealing with persons mining within the red zone.
So if you watch this particular thing, you will realize this is a town. So that particular town, where would they farm? This particular community. Just look at this town. This big town by the river. They cannot even go out. Because if you joke, you don't know how deep this thing is, you will fall and die. You cannot even go out of your town, not to talk of going to farm. Just look at it. And these are kilometers upon kilometers. It's not like some meters. These are kilometers upon kilometers of destruction. And I wonder why the communities are allowing them to do that. Maybe because they're holding guns and threatening them. So the communities cannot talk. But if you have a town like what you are seeing there, and you have this destruction surrounding the entire town, where do you expect the people to get food to eat? Ladies and gentlemen, we've also observed that some of the illegal miners have decided to resort to mining in the night. We now know and will go after you. So they go midnight and go and do champagne activities and run back during the day. And we know that they do that from 9 to 4. That's how brave they are. We know, and we know the towns that you are doing, so we'll come after you. Don't try it. And in the night, for the safety of the soldiers, I cannot guarantee your own safety. No soldier will go out in the night without trying to protect himself. So if you go out there to mine, I cannot guarantee you your own safety when the soldiers are going to apprehend you.
John News's Kwesi Parker-Wilson was at that briefing and joins us via Zoom with some updates. Kwesi, the Defense Minister made a number of tough statements. Apart from not being able to guarantee the safety of illegal miners who operate at night, what more did he say?
Well, Dennis, one other instructive thing the minister said was about the burning of excavators and the destruction of mining equipment. You know, in recent past, there's been conversation about the approach taken by the military is not the best. Well, the minister is insisting that the military will continue to destroy mining equipment and also burn excavators. Now, the explanation he gave was that the military has been instructed directly to go into the mining areas to destroy any mining equipment that is polluting the water bodies. So they are not there to inspect your license. They are not there to check whether you're a legal mining company or an illegal mining company. The fact that you are working and your work or activities are polluting our water bodies and destroying our arable land, definitely the military is clothed with the powers and authority to burn your excavators and your mining equipment. Again, he has said that, well, going forward, the military will not engage in any act of discrimination. Any individual who is caught in the action obviously will be dealt with. So far, he gave us an update that 49 excavators have been burnt. A little over 200 champagnes are destroyed, including some other mining equipment as well. And the reason he gave was that sometimes individuals are not operating within the red zone. They are actually operating outside the red zone. However, the activities is causing huge and great damage to the country's water bodies, and that is why they have taken this stand.
Kwesi, now you asked the minister a question about the alleged renewal of Extra Gold Mining Company's license. Tell us his response to you.
So the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Abojinapo, is clear in his mind that since he became the sector minister, he has not renewed any license for any mining company, not even given permit for exploration. And Bernice, you know that Extra Gold Company Limited is claiming that the ministry has granted the mining lease and again given them permit to explore. The minister says he's surprised that is circulating. However, He has set up a team to investigate this matter. So definitely they will investigate it. But for him, he has not, since he became a minister, signed any of these documents.
And what was said about the law that's to be passed to deal with buffer zones for mining activities?
Yeah, so recently we saw some video from a military man and a Chinese man, and the military was explaining how the activities of the Chinese man, who happens to be a small-scale miner, was affecting the water bodies. The explanation is that because some individuals are not operating within the red zone, and yet the activities are causing damage, government has decided to put together a law to extend it. Originally, as it stands, you have to mine 100 meters away from the river body. However, people are mining about 200 meters and still having problems with the water body. So they are going to Parliament to draft a new law that would probably say about 10 kilometers away from the water bodies, and also other things that would ensure that we protect the water bodies or the river lines and the tributaries as well. Because he says that some of the miners have diverted the rivers, and sometimes you don't even see the tributaries. So it's become a huge problem, and that is why he will endorse, particularly, and that is the defense minister, that at least we make a law that will state that miners do that 10 kilometers away from the water body. So we should expect the law when Parliament resumes next week. And
talking about the law, we were also given an update on prosecution, right?
Yeah, so he says that one Chinese man has been arrested and, of course, going through the process. This is for the third phase, I should say. This is for the third phase. There was no update on the first and the second phase. This press briefing was just an update on the third phase. So that is what we know. And any other individual who is involved, obviously, will be prosecuted by the police.
Kwesi Parker-Wilson joining us live from the Information Ministry, where a press briefing was organized a while ago to update us on phase 3 of Operation Halt. Now, residents of Srekpe and surrounding communities in the central Tong district of the Volta region are compelled to share the same water sources with animals. This is due to the inability of the central government to provide these communities with potable water, thereby putting their well-being at risk. The development is affecting education and livelihoods of residents in the affected communities. John News' Fred Kwame Asare visited the communities, and here's his report.
Srekpe is an agrarian community in the central town district of the Volta region where residents survive on gari production. Every household here engages in the age-old profession which drives the local economy. However, Srekpe and its surrounding communities lack access to potable water. A borehole constructed in the community by the former MP Joe Gidisu in 2012 is faulty, hence unable to produce water.
This pipe-borne water here, this one is provided for us since 2012 by Honorable Joe Gidisu. And we are utilizing it last year before it got spoiled. So since then, we don't have any water in the community again.
Due to this, the residents had to fall back on 2 dams in the area, which is about 2 kilometers away from the community. Unfortunately, they had to share the water sources with animals. Not less than 6 herds drink from the dams daily. These residents were unlucky, hence would have to fetch muddied water because they got to the dam at the same time when the last herd arrived to quench their thirst after grazing in the field. We use the same water the animals drink, urinate and defecate in, but it is the grace of God that is keeping us alive. The water government officials use to flush their toilets is more better than what we rely on here. We are calling on President Akufo-Addo, his minister, and especially our central town DC, Thomas Moore Zumba, to come to our aid.
We are compelled to put chemicals in our water to make it clean. Though it is harmful to our health, we have no option. We have not had access to potable water since the days of our forefathers. We take part in every activity initiated by government, But government has refused to provide us with water. Children and the aged are suffering. Some teachers posted to this area had to leave because there is no water in the community.
The tricycle guys are selling the water at 1 Ghana cedis per gallon. The ladies engaged in the Gari business spend about 300 Ghana cedis in water every month. They lamented that people who engage in the water selling business have informed them of price hikes due to the increase in petroleum products and circumstances around the dam. The lack of potable water is not only affecting the education of the younger generation, but also has a toll on the local economy, which has Gari production as its nerve. Almost every household in Serekpe and its surrounding communities engage in Gari processing. They are forced to use the dam water to wash the cassava before processing.
We don't have clean water to wash our cassava after peeling it. Our buyer often complain about the color of our Gari. Because of the water we use, the Gari becomes dark. We are suffering here at Serekpe.
The residents are hopeful completion of the 5-district water supply project would bring an end to their water plights. We are appealing to the government to extend water supply from Midday to our communities so we can get good water to drink. However, they would have to wait for about 2 years for this to manifest, since phase 3 of the project, which involves the main distribution, has just started. The water system, which is engineered to serve Central Town, Agotime, Adaklu, North Town districts and parts of the whole municipality, is already serving some 116 communities. Charles Ejei is the manager of the 5-district water supply project.
Serekpe area all the way to Buti, Akachi Road, those areas are all covered in the phase 3. Communities in all those places will be supplied by the time this phase is done. So the people of Serekpe should be, encouraged that such a project is under implementation right now. The project is a 2 years period with 1 year defect liability period. We started in November 2020 and November 2023 will be when we will have completed the project. So within this span, Serekpe will have potable water flowing, 24/7.
The residents learning of this are calling on philanthropic organizations to come to their aid within the shortest possible time. Fred Kwame Asai, Joy News, Serekpe.
Now, West Africa's richest salt mine, holding more than half of all salt deposits in Ghana, has now been handed to Electrochem for commercial salt mining. Some residents of Ada have been protesting this decision in the last few months, but some paramount chiefs of Ada have lauded government's decision to hand over the concession to the company, which is a wholly owned Ghanaian one. The chiefs say the move would increase salt production for artisanal miners who've been winning sand in the lagoon for decades.
The Adan Songo Lagoon Basin stretches through a 34,777-acre land. It is estimated to have the potential for large-scale salt production for both export and industrial use. But then decades of uncertainties about who effectively owns and regulates the right to produce salt has heightened tension among key stakeholders, slowing down the production growth process. Government decided to step in, granting private firm Electrochem GH Limited the right to harvest salt in the area after parliamentary deliberation and subsequent approval. Though the decision was met with stiff opposition by traditional leaders, they finally decided to give peace a chance. Today, artisanal salt harvesters have a shot at expanding salt production as Electrochem GH Limited moves in to construct bigger ponds for 6 communities in the Adan enclave.
We have a policy that wherever we go to build our own pans, first of all we build community pans. So that's what you see here. And these are designed and made for the community, and actually the location is chosen by the POSAM people as well. So we actually decided that there'd be a better place over just to that distance, but they told us to move it over here. So before we even started building any of our own pans here, this is the first thing that we've done. And the interesting thing about these pans is that we will also provide top quality brine to these pans. It's one of the problems with the local method of salt winning, is that the brine is very poor quality. To get good quality brine, you need to move it around and have it in residence for a decent period of time. And that's what we will be doing, and providing top quality brine for the local guys to mine and then sell back to us. So there's a big advantage in that. The first advantage is that they'll be producing top quality salt that's the international standard that we can export. The second is that there's much more volume. These pans are designed to be producing large volumes of salt, probably 8 harvests a year, something like that. Whereas at the moment, with the traditional means, they're only getting 3 or 4 harvests.
Touring some completed ponds, CEO of Electrochem GH Limited, Daniel Macaulay, said so far about 1,000 youth have gained employment since they started the project, and their target is to employ about 5,000 more.
We came here within 3 months. We have employed over 1,000 youth working in the concession. We have also created the community ponds. A lot of people don't know, but the community ponds we have created, every year they will harvest over 500,000 bags of salt from the community ponds, which I feel is a huge lift in what they are doing and what they call the Achiakpo. Currently, you realize that you go to the northern side of the concession, you realize the community ponds there for Agbakpe, there is no water in there. Because we have not finished the PCR 5, that's the reservoir number 5, until we finish working there, before we can get water into the ponds over there. So I want to assure the Agbakpe and their chief, Nene Lomo, to be patient, and very soon they will have water into their ponds. With COSEM, we are yet to complete the construction. It's the same we are going to do at Bonikope, Toflokpo, Nakunkofe, all the way to Madagbe. And imagine, if only here we have employed 1,000 people within 3 months. We are looking at the employment we're going to create here from here to Madagbe, COSEM Saloon. We are talking close to 6,000 youth, giving them job. Within 6 months to 1 year, we are employing over 6,000 youth in this community.
Applauding management of Electrochem GH Limited, chiefs in the area are optimistic salt production would hit all-time high levels this year as they look forward to exporting their produce.
Working, and Electrochem is willing and is ready and is living peacefully with the people in the community. We have documents signed by Electrochem and the Adan Traditional Council, the 4 Oko clans, that they are not relocating anybody. They are rather here to help us. When we went once, you see the community, the Achiakwe that they are doing. Look at how messy the place is compared to the ones they are creating for the community. So all I'll do is to crave their indulgence, that we should all bring our support to support Electrochem, to make Adan proud and put Adan on the world map again. Because what Electrochem has done so far, if we support them, I think in the next 2-3 years, Adan will go to the world map in terms of salt. Salt will push up there, just as gold has put the Ashantis up there.
Electrochem have put it before the people of Adan that when they mine, he's ready to buy. But he's not going to force anybody to sell for him. Wherever you have a market you want to sell, you are free to do that. But he is ready. Whatever you take out of it, you sell it for him at the market price he's willing to buy.
Well, Ghana has been chosen by the international community to serve as a case study for neighboring countries on safeguarding the use of online services to the benefit of all. Details of these and more coming up in business shortly. Do stay.
Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. Ghana has been chosen by the international community to serve as a case study for neighboring countries on safeguarding the use of online services to the benefit of all. To this end, the country has been hosting the Joint Freedom Online Conference to share its experience on cybersecurity operations and best practices. Speaking on Joy Business, National Cybersecurity Advisor Albert Nchiboisianko said the country has made enormous progress in ensuring that businesses are safe online. Here's a report.
The Freedom Online Conference afforded Ghana the platform to explain some initiatives undertaken to safeguard the country's digital space and also protect the human rights of online users and the rights of businesses. This is part of a 4-priority area by the Freedom Online Coalition to strengthen government engagement in combating cyber fraud. The National Cybersecurity Advisor Albert Nchiboisianko told Joy Business that Ghana continues to lead in the West African sub-region when it comes to online safety practices.
Sharing our experiences, we just passed the Cybersecurity Act. How do we as a country develop our cybersecurity programs at the same time respecting the right of citizens? So Ghana is being used more or less like a case study. We've been able to come out with a legislation that is viewed as a human rights centric. So other countries on the continent are looking to best practices, and I think the gathering here, the hosting of the event, is to really share our experiences by way of dialogue with the civil society, by way of collaborations, even across the political divide, to ensure that there's a consensus. It's a security issue. So we achieve our cybersecurity objectives whilst also promoting the right of our citizens.
The Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Eslawusu Akufo, has also disclosed that the ministry is in talks with the Ministry of Finance to activate the Cybersecurity Fund. According to her, the fund will help the Cybersecurity Center operate effectively as mandated by the new Cybersecurity Act.
It's a matter of absolute priority for government that we scale up our cybersecurity efforts. And that's why we worked so hard to pass the law, because there was no enabling comprehensive legislation to regulate this area. And a lot was happening, but it's as if it was a no man's land. So now that we have the law in place, we are working to operationalize the Cybersecurity Authority this year. The law also makes provision for a cybersecurity fund. We're working with the Ministry of Finance to activate that as well. We're in the process of securing office accommodation for them, providing them with the training and capacity building that they need, hiring locally and internationally Ghanaian expatriates in this sector to come and help us with our digital security initiative.
The minister also assured that all efforts are being made to ensure that Ghana's exposure to hackers is minimized. The event is a follow-up to the 8th Annual Freedom Online Conference hosted by Ghana last year.
Well, meanwhile, Communications Minister Eslawusu Akufo has hinted that government will embark on a specialized sensitization program for the intended SIM card re-registration before the due date. According to her, the exercise will be done in addition with the registration of all mobile and digital devices. She has been explaining to my colleague Eben Sabute.
Let's just hold the space. There's a comprehensive public education program and publicity program that is part of the announcement, and the details will be spelled out. We don't want people to go and queue, but some queuing may be inevitable. However, there will be a process for people to book when they will go in and register. All that would be laid out in a comprehensive manner by the publicity team once the formal announcement is made. We know that it is something that is of critical importance to the country. And government is committed to doing it and doing it right this time. We can't do it without carrying the people along and making it as painless as possible. So we're currently working on devising a strategy that will enable as many people to register as comfortably as possible. And the details will be spelled out within the next few weeks. We'll start at the end of June, which is next month, for 6 months, at the end of which any SIM which is not registered will be switched off. will be disabled. So there'll be a 6-month registration period. And we'll urge everybody to take advantage of it and register at their leisure. For those who've already registered, you just need to verify your number and validate it with your card. So you can walk to your nearest, the office of your service provider and register your devices there. Well, let me not give too many details now.
All right, there's more coming up on the marketplace at the top of the hour. Up next, sports. The multimedia group has launched our coverage of the Euro 2020 tournament. Muftau will have details after this break.
Multimedia Group, we are the home of that tournament. On all our platforms, we'll be sharing with you the most exciting of stories that happen in European football. Commentary, television in HD quality, whatever you can get it from. This is the Multimedia Group, and this is the home of Euro 2020. Now let's do some local stories where Legon Cities have been declared winners of their Ghana Premier League fixture match day 23 against Ebusuan DWARFS, which ended abruptly. The Ghana FA, in a ruling released earlier today, said DWARFS initiated acts of violence that led to the cancellation of the match. But a communications director of Ebusuan DWARFS, Abeku Ochiri, tells Joy Sports the fact the FA relied on to award the decision are skewed, and they will appeal the ruling and demand a replay of the match.
Well, we're all aware of what has transpired. I mean, some few hours ago with the Ghana Football Association, ordering 3 points to be deducted from our accumulated points. And of course, that is all in relation to match of the 23 fixture against the Legon Cities. And the referee, Alphabet, they decided not to, finish the game. We stipulated 90, we didn't cover, we only did 45. And I guess it's the reason why, I have a Twitter and I have a head of social media, and we need to fix that as well.
Is DWARFS suggesting that the GFA got it wrong?
Yeah, we feel the appeals committee of the Ghana Football Association got it wrong. The information out there, the latest, with what we're seeing is misleading. We are going to appeal the decision of the committee in relation to this matter. And we know that we're going to succeed because some of the information in what we read in the decision was just not it. That's not what transpired.
What is the true story?
The true story is that the referee was not assaulted. In the match officials' reports, for example, it was reported that 4 of the officials were entering a tunnel to the dressing room, and when they got there, there was attacks on them. There were physical assault, and that 3 of the officials were escorted into the dressing room, and then later they came back for the other official. Physical assault is happening. How would 3 be escorted and then 1 would later join them?
You are appealing the decision of the Ghana Football Association. What do you want? What do you want the Ghana Football Association to do? Do you want a replay of the match? What is the demand of DWARFS when you go for that appeal?
Can I say I don't know why I should use the 20 for whatever, but the Legon Cities are saying that their point is what the FA has granted them. We are saying we want a replay of the match because the referee decided to stop the game.
He says it was the decision of the referee to cancel the game and they will demand a replay in their appeal to the appeal committee of the Ghana Football Association. That's our time will permit us for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Ablai. Head on to myjoyonline.com/sports because we've got more stories on there to share with you. The headline has to do with CAF president saying that he's been struggling to secure sponsorship because of the murky reputation of the organization.
That's how we end this edition of Joy News today. Thank you so much for your company. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Do stay with us. Up next is the Marketplace. Enjoy the rest of your day.